Alright, so I switched to spark plugs. Let's try it again. Yeah, it's doing it again. Alright, so I kind of adjusted the distributor to see if I can adjust the timing a little bit of things. As you can tell, it's not hunting anymore. I don't like how high its idle speed is a little too high, so I'm not really sure how to approach this yet. Alright, I'll keep you updated. I want to show you something. The timing is way off. See that in there. You have the line. The three lines are actually lining up, so it's a little too advanced. So back it off some. Yeah. Alright, so we got a little bit of bad news. Alright. Not the worst, but just bad. Bad enough. Okay. See that? Look at that. Just keeps on turning. See that? So it's stripped out. I'm concerned about this one also. That one's fine. This one should be fine also. Just double check. That's fine. We have to repair this one. Let's check the others. That's good. Okay, awesome. So we have to do a Healy coil on that. The engine timing is really good. It runs really well, but we got some things to repair. So we had to do that first. The pulley, either pulley needs to be a new bearing, and we also need to replace this leak on the left side over here. That is leaking. Can you see it? So, that's leaking. So let's do it. Alright, so I want to show you a few things. So what you would need to do to figure this out, right? You would need a metric. This is a gauge that you use to, it's a thread gauge. And they come in American and, standard and metric. So this is the metric. And you want to figure out, you want to look at, see what exactly is the amount of, let me zoom down a little bit more. Okay, so what you want to do is figure out what exactly is the pitch, as in how many thread counts per inch. So you use your gauge, right? And usually Hondas are like 1.0 or 1.25. So you can almost guess what they're gonna be. So let's go to 1.0. Let's find out those. Right. So you would find your 1.0 like that. That's what it says right here. Might be a little hard to see. Okay. And you go like this. And you're looking for seamless fit. Now that is seamless, right? Back out. Okay. This is seamless. Like that. You've seen me done it before in other videos if you've watched. But that's what you're looking for. Sorry. See how that just matches all the grooves seamlessly? Okay, so you know it's a 1.0. Now once you have salvaged that, right, you can go ahead and figure out, okay, what do I need to purchase now? So the Healy coil is going to be, you have a couple choices of things you can use to try to resolve the thread thing. You can take braided wire, so any, like this, for instance, like this kind of wire here, just cut that off, peel this back, take about 7 of those little tiny strands in here, stick it inside of the space, and just, you can just tighten this down onto that. For me, I don't want to do anything hackish like that. I want to actually try to solve this. So my Healy coil is going to be is most likely an M6. It's, I mean, not most likely, it is definitive language. It's an M6 by, that's the metric, 6 by 1.0, right? And it's poorly labeled. So that is going to be my thread pitch. And you can double check it, right? So I purchased that, and these come in, they're in there. Oh, they're all kind of fell out when I opened it up. See, so okay. So what will happen is that you see that tang, it's called, that part of the very back. So that will break off, but you can test it and see how it works. You know, so you can see how it screws down into there. That's how you know you're onto the right thing. And once you have this insert installed, right, you're going to need a drill bit. So it tells you what drill bit you need right here. So I'm going to need a 1/4 inch diameter drill bit to get this set up. So, all right, so we have all those things there. All right, we have 2 more things we're going to do. Here's the bearing we're going to use for the this bearing is 6203-2NSC. This is a Japanese bearing, and it's 17 by 40 by 17. It's a sealed C3 Japanese ball bearing. So we're going to use that, and we have this gasket here. All right, it might work, it might not work, but it's a CS1392. All right, so let's see what we can do. Get this engine running so we can continue with the other repairs. Alright, we need to create the least amount of contamination. Possibility of metal shavings entering into the engine block, so we need to like cover this. Alright, so I'm experimenting with my square edge just to keep this drill bit as straight up and down as possible. So what I did, I placed the 2 on the outside and just screwed them in. Alright, got my 1/4 inch. But before I do that, I'm going to do something really important. Alright, before we do anything, I need some Vaseline. Alright, and I'm going to rub that on the drill bit itself. I cleaned off the drill bit, it was a little dirty. Now there's something else, but what this will do is trap a lot of the metal shavings. It'll make it stick to the bit itself. Okay, so, and this drill bit's a 1/4 inch. let's give it a try. So again, I'm experimenting with that. Trying to make sure I keep the drill bit. You want to drill slowly and keep it in the same parallel path as the bolt would go. So, got a lot of shavings, as you can tell. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we need to also verify that the depth is not too much. So let's clean this off and we'll check it out. Alright, so one of the things you also want to do, right, is just make sure the depth is right. So this is going to bottom out. The top of this is going to bottom out with the I guess it's the valve train, right? And so to do that, to help you with the drilling, as you go like this. Oops. You take your some tape like this. And you just go like this. So you know that's as far as you need to go. That's going to help a lot. Okay. So, as you can see, right, this is filmed a little out of order. I might edit it. Anyway. Yep, that's it. Doesn't need to go anymore. Alright, so we have a nice starter hole, pilot hole. Let's do some cleanup work. Just want to check again, make sure this goes all the way down. Yep, okay, good. Alright, so now we need to do the threads on that. So to do that, this top comes with my tap and die set, which I highly recommend everybody own and get. This is the, what do you call it, helicoil. This is in the helicoil pack. So we're gonna do the same thing with this. We're gonna put some Vaseline on this, just to make sure we control the metal. We get the bigger Vaseline on there. Again, Vaseline. So we want to go, it'd be a good idea to also figure out, you can feel it when it bottoms out, you know, but if you're being extra anal about it, you can go to use some tape to mark it. Again, it's not really necessary, but you can use some tape. Do this before you put the Vaseline on. It'll make your life a lot easier. So now we have a depth. This as straight as possible. It tends to kind of guide itself. T-handle is really important because it keeps the pressure even versus like a socket on top of there, which you could use. So you're going to go a couple, 2 turns forwards, 1 turn back, just to get some of the metal shavings out. 1 turn back. Bottomed out, so I can't go any further. That's it. Can't go any further. clean threads on there. Right? We had to clean up clean this up a little bit. Couple at the very bottom. There's some. I want to get them out of there. Some metal shavings. So we're going to use a Q-tip. We're going to take a Q-tip with some Vaseline. I feel like I'm advertising that Vaseline. What's going on? And those are in there, and they're kind of having a hard time coming out because the Vaseline that I use to keep them from spreading all over the place is what's trapping them. It's better to have them trapped in the engine because it's just that stuff destroy your motor. Now let's prep this Healy coil. So we need to have this part here with the tang showing like that. And then we take this comes with it. This is my for my tap and die set. Okay, we're gonna just kind of screw that down onto this like that. See how that bottoms out right there? Okay, now that's bottoms out, right? We're going to take this over to the engine. Trying to keep this as flat as possible. I'm gonna go till see if you can see it better. Can we? Yeah, let's try that. It's not even clear. It's clear enough. Okay. So you want to go as far as you can, so the Healy coil is about 1.5 turn below the surface, like that. Then you just unscrew this. Okay, so now that's there, right? The next thing we want to do is that tang, that's what they call it. Silly name, whatever. At the very bottom, you want to tap it off. That's it. Punch here. Match that tang. So the tang is knocked off. Yeah, the vacuum didn't work. Let's try a Q-tip. Got it. I'm not lying. Totally got it. See that? Probably not. It's zoomed in too much. Nice job, Q-tip, Vaseline. Let's test it and see how successful we were. That's awesome. We did it.
Excuse me. Newkirk Street.
Newkirk is right there.
The next one more block?
Like next, it's up and down, north and south. Next, not this 28th, but next one's Newkirk.
Alright, thank you, appreciate it. I was walking for a little while.
There you were? Alright, take care. We are golden, but it looks good. You know, I'm tempted to do this one also. Leave it alone. But either way, okay. Okay, so we gotta get this belt here. This is the power steering belt off. I'm sorry, air conditioner belt off. And this is the power steering. And to do that, we have to loosen up the tensioner, which is a 10mm bolt here. And we need to break this 12mm bolt here, because we got to get this pulley right here off of that system. Because that pulley is not spinning right, and it's burning this belt up. I just replaced it, and I don't want to do it again. So, because I installed the pulley incorrectly. And they call it an idler pulley. Alright, so to do that, we're going to have to do this. Pull this bracket, not the bracket, just pull the power steering with that bolt, that 12mm here, and that 12mm. Just lift it out of the way, and then it'll open up this space right here so we can loosen up the 10, break that 12, get that pulley off so we can go and have it at the bearing. We're going to take it inside on the vise. Alright, so we get the power steering. Loosen that up. Get that belt off too, that would be nice. Go, gadget lefty. So that's off. I'm just going to lift this out of the way. Just want to hold it right there. Usually take that what do you call it? Cruise control out. I just need to get some space right here. Okay, so now that we have some space, you can't see anything. Alright. I am trying to get in there with a 10mm. Let's see if I can loosen that up. So I'm going to go all the way down to the very, very bottom. Okay, but just so I can have as much room as possible. Okay, good. Don't go anymore. Come right out. Okay, and then I want to try to do break this free with a 12. See if we can get in there with a 12. Just a little 12. Yeah, that's not going to work. At least not from the top anyway. This is what we're going to use. To get underneath. I just found a tag. Sweating so much. Alright, back up top. That's what we can do here. Well, I found that. Maybe that's not a 12, maybe it's a 14. That's probably the problem. That sure is the problem. Yep, it's a 14. Sorry about that. I need to get this all the way off. Now remember, this has a washer in the front of it, so you want to make sure that that you don't lose your washer. Like I did the first day I did this, I was like, oh, what's this washer doing down there? Okay, bolt. Get the belt off. Really tight. This is so loose, tight, loose, tight. Alright, I'm gonna struggle off camera, get that belt out of there. I figured out something with this belt, how to get it off. I take something, right? Kind of like push it like this, just to help guide it off, you know? So I'm gonna go like that. Oh, the washer just fell off. There's the washer. Okay. And then I'm going to turn it from underneath. By hand. Should kind of like spin it off. See what I'm saying? Yeah, it's working, right? Let me get a socket on that crank. It's a 17mm socket. 9mm socket. Come on, where are you at? There you go. Underneath. Just gonna turn it counterclockwise to try to get that off. Gonna get up there. Trying to get that belt off. That is way more mature than I thought. Yeah, 5 minutes later. Let's be easy. I'll just pull it off. All right. When you push it on this, right, don't ever touch any like of the teeth on these pulleys. Oh, there. Almost. Get a friend, ladies and gentlemen. Get a friend. Almost there. Almost. There you go. Alright. That belt is off. So now, let's get this pulley out of the way. Don't drop it because you don't want to mess with the teeth. Okay. Pulley's up and out. I want to make sure that we get this right. So the orientation, as I totally messed you up previously. Okay. Alright, here's the orientation, right? It's like this. See that part? That part is facing out. This slides in. It bumps up against the engine block. Then you put your washer on. The washer sits neatly in there. Nice and flat. See how that is? And then you tighten your bolt up. That's the orientation. When I first put it on, I had this here like that. And this was like off, too far out. You can see how it burnt up the belt right here. Right? So, oh wow, I didn't even notice how bad it did. But you can see that right there. So, I'm going to spend some time clean this all out. Okay, and then we're gonna replace that. That bearing should be a lot smoother than that. It's too tight, doesn't spin enough. Like I said, it's failing. It's all melted belt. That's kind of crazy, right? That's one way to know for sure your pulley has caused the damage. Alright, so you see what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend some time cleaning that off. And then we'll take it into the office, throw it on the chainy, and then we'll go from there. Here we have our idler pulley, AC pulley. And then we have our new bearing. This is a Japanese bearing, Nachi. I've never done this before, so a lot of fun stuff happening here, right? Okay, so this is our bearing, and as you can see, it fits right here like that. So we need to push it out from this side, right? And this is the before. Okay, let's see if we can get that to be a little bit smoother of a bearing. Even though it feels the same. Either way, you should just replace these things. Okay, so to do that, we need to get a socket that fits on there and one on the other side. So there is a tool called a bearing separator that's really good for doing exactly what we're trying to do here. Okay, so I'm going to use this. I thought I had a socket that was wide enough to fit over here, but I don't. So we're going to have to try to use this. So I'm thinking, right? See, that's wide enough. I can push this out into here. So this gets pushed out really nicely with a 16mm socket. That's a 16mm socket. So it fits right in here. Very well, actually. So we're going to try to push that out, see if it crushes the wood or not. It might not. Yeah. So again, you could also put two sockets right there. I just need to create some space so we can push this through. Let's just see what's happening before we proceed anymore. Okay. Alright. I think it'll work. Yeah, I think that'll work. Let's continue. So it's made a nice little circle on that. I think I'm going to need something to add a little extra torque on here. Like a breaker bar of some sort. Yeah. Alright, that's a good sound. Pipe would be nice. Hopefully it's doing something. Yeah, it's going in. Okay, wow. Alright. So there you have it. That is the old bearing. Okay, that's crunchy. Hear that sound? Not crunchy. Okay. So, we need to get this in. Remember, when we were visually, we saw that. Actually, it's agnostic. It doesn't matter. Okay, so we had to push this in like that. So I'm going to clean that up. Alright, let's try to get this back in. I'm thinking we can throw some assembly lube in that. This vise is 4 inches in width. I highly recommend if you ever get a vise, you're trying to like get yourself started. Get yourself a like say 6 inches minimum. You know, just because. You know, you don't have a lot of choices. Here, an example is like if we were trying to like get that's engine assembly lube, by the way. If I were trying to use sockets, the sockets would have been too big, and I would not have been able to like slide that in. Okay, so here's our new bearing. And what I notice that fits really nicely on this is a 27. Now you don't want to push on the inside race, you want to push on the outside. So 27 just happens to fit quite nicely. Maybe 28 would be even better, but I don't have a 28, so we're going to have to do with 27 here. Oh, that's nice. Okay. So, another good tool to have is just, and they're so abundant, I highly recommend you get them if you can budget it and you have the space, because they're not even expensive, so budgeting is like not an issue really, to be honest, if you just want to be able to like do stuff. I would highly recommend you get a drill, hydraulic press. That thing is amazing. It does wonders for work like this. Alright, so what's happening? Make sure you stay on that race, because you don't want to, you're trying to damage anything. Okay, so I'm just checking to make sure everything's in all the way around, all sides. Yeah, perfect. So I should be able to turn it in. Just make sure it's going in even. It's a little higher right here. So I'm gonna hit it down. I don't know about that. How do we get it back out? Line it up again. That's a better way to go. I like that idea better, because I think I'll hammer it in just to get it started. Yeah. I think that's what I'll do. Get a little bit more assembly lube. A little high right there. Let's see what we can do. Okay, right here's a little high on that side right here. Okay, that's pretty even. Yeah. Alright, let's try to press this in now. So what magic we can work. That's good. I'm gonna flip this over. So I think the vise is not exactly doesn't push evenly, the vise. A little high right here. Just a little high right there. Okay. Alright, get the right tool, people. That's what this tells you right here. I am not prepared because I don't have the right tool. So, getting a lot of shenanigans. So this should take about 5 minutes to do is now probably 12. Okay, let's push that in from the... I think it pushes unevenly from the top. So we'll, let's make sure again. Yeah, that's the high spot there. Almost there. Okay, flip it over. It's the high spot again. Getting bored yet? There we go. Turn this around, slide that in. I got this as low as possible when I think about it. In the vise, it's pushing so high and weird. Just lower the actual object that you're pressing down more. Okay, let's see what we got. Turn that around. And also I'm pushing against a piece of wood too, so you can only imagine multiple levels of problems that I'm causing. We're almost there. So we'll push a little more on this side. I'm sure the engineers at Honda are like cringing right now, like, oh, konnichiwa. Yeah, okay. I'm fluent in Japanese anime. We got a long way to go, yeah, we sure do. Okay. Okay, so I still actually now I understand why you're gonna need the socket, because this needs to bottom out to there, right? And currently that's what we have. So we're gonna need to push on that thing, that outer race. Again, make sure you are on the outer race. I think a 28 millimeter socket, I know for sure, would be a much better choice to push on. Just double check that. That will work. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to flip this around. Yeah, that's it. It's bottomed out. Can't get any more in of that. See? Oh, it's a little dark. But anyway. There's no more gaps there. Right? Alright, let's check it and see what it feels like. What do you think? We did a good job. No crunchy sounds. I like it. Okay, that's our new bearing. Alright, so that's great. I think we should be good for a bit more. Let's have at it, shall we? Get that owner again. Get this orientation right because I really messed up the first time I did it. Okay. This flat surface goes against the body of the car. Don't ask me how I know, but just trust me. That slides into there. Okay. This will slide onto the bolt. The washer goes in there like that, and then you screw that down. Yep, I made a mistake. That's how I know. Alright, let's do it. Try not to block your view. Okay, we gotta get close now. Close and personal. The washer in. Washers on top of that. I'll go underneath, see if I can get out of your way. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Alright, well, you gotta use your imagination, so I'm gonna block your view. There you go. So, bolts on. Right. Now I gotta keep it loose. Right? I'm gonna put this belt back on. I did use this to guide it before I got it on, so we'll do that again. Start from underneath. So let's get this on top of here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, right, is I'm going to go underneath and turn the engine counterclockwise. Yes, and that should spin that belt right on. That'll work. Make sure everything's lined up. Looks good to me. Alright. Pull it. Don't forget your socket. Alright, so the belt is on. We're gonna tension it. That's a 10 millimeter. Oh, you can double check everything, you know, make sure everything's in alignment. So make sure that pulley is, the belt's in line with that. It's aligned with the harmonic balancer. Just make sure everything is lined up. You can tell, and that's how you know if you install this incorrectly, because it's real obvious. It just doesn't look right, you know. So you don't want to have too much tension on the belt, but just enough. Okay, so a little bit more. Okay, that works for me. And then I'm gonna do this is 14. This is a 14 millimeter. So we're gonna tighten this up. I highly recommend, if you do this job, get these longer ratchet and set. It's a game changer. That's all I gotta tell you. Okay, so that's good. I'm happy with that. He shouldn't have any burn sensation. Let me turn that on. Okay, so let's have at this wonderful little thing here. We have a... did you see anything? Oh gosh. Oh, we're gonna install this gasket. Right there. You want to actually get a pan for underneath. Sorry about that. You're gonna need a pan for underneath. Because the hose will probably have some coolant in it. So you see how milky that looks? That's how you know you have a blown gasket. I don't have a blown gasket because the milkiness is from the oil that was inside the radiator before. That's what coolant and oil looks like. It's very milky looking. Okay, so that's out of the way. Slide that off. So we have two 10 millimeter. Two 10 millimeter. I keep forgetting this. Don't forget your pan. Make sure your pan is underneath and it's catching all this stuff. It's really toxic stuff. Both of those. Let's just check and see if that gasket will even work. I just want to see if this gasket's going to even work. It says here, not returnable if opened. Oh well. It's only $1 something. It's totally worth it. It's kind of thickish. Oh yeah, this is gonna work alright. There you go. Just like that. And that's gonna stop that thing from leaking. I'm gonna take some time and clean up those threads a little. Let's see how they look. Is that doable? I think so. Alright. Let's do it. Ready? I'm going in. A really important thing I've learned about this this repair, anything related to the engine block, don't use any power tools. Do everything by hand. You don't want to strip anything or cause anything to end up not being warped, you know? Absolutely zero power tools. Again, don't use any power tools, anything related to this, no matter how tempting it is. Excellent. No, not excellent. Damn it. That looks... Is that right? Yeah, that's good. That in. This hose back on. Some WD-40 and I'll slide that back on. Looks like a charm. Alright, here you go. So now that's a game changer. That's not going to leak anymore. We got to reattach our go back over here. Power stand pump back on. I'm sorry, air conditioning compressor back on. Remember our belt? We got our belt back on. And our belt is labeled, so. Has the arrows. There you go. So let's get that in here. Let's get it started. Okay. So this was a little tricky. So we have two 12s. Yeah, they are 12s. So we have two 12s we need to get in, two 12mm bolts. For these, you want to be very, very, this is going to be the hardest one to get on, usually. Just a couple turns, get it started enough to keep it really loose, and then, bottom here, it's a little tricky at first to get lined up. Turn them all down. Don't forget to attach your ground. So I was saying this is like super tricky. So we can slip that in there. Need to get the belt up onto this. Make sure it's still loose. It's really loose. Push this belt through. Alright, so that belt goes through. In general, I didn't find this one too hard to get on. So, should be pretty easy for you. No, really, it's pretty easy to get on. In. So now that you have that in, that's down there. Okay, so we need a 1/2-inch socket to tension this. I mean a 1/2-inch wrench. So you put that in right here, like this. Put this in the off position, so it turns, pulls that way. So you pull it up like that, you tighten it like that. Maybe we can tighten it some more. Hold on. Oh. Like that. good. We're gonna need a bigger 12 to get at this. Yeah, we're gonna need a better, longer socket wrench. Help tighten this. Let's check that belt. Looks good. Power steering is back. We have to slide this back into its slot. Okay. Better put that 10mm back.
Your jack didn't work.
What's that?
Your jack didn't work. Your jack.
What about it?
It didn't work.
It works.
I was making sure that you had the two of them like that.
Oh, yeah, it works. It works good. It works good.
I was just asking.
Yeah. So we want to put this back. So we go here, like that. This is a little redundant, kind of like unnecessary because we already recorded this, but you know, whatever. Okay, so that's good, right? That's ground. We have everything back in place. Let's put the valve cover back on. Don't use any power tools. 0 power tools. None. Don't put any power tools on this at all. When you're tightening this down, if it feels weird, just stop, because you don't want to like have to do all this, what we call shenanigans. That's not what happened to that. I just think it came that way, to be honest with you. Because you're gonna have to go back and forth several times to like get this engine set properly. So you'll have to take this off multiple times. Because you know you want to like run the engine, make sure everything is right before you put on this gasket, because you put that gasket on, it's not right. you're going to end up having to like greased, like put it back on, you know what I mean? So, going to crisscross pattern. She actually should start from the inside. Sorry about that. That's bad practice. When you tighten and stuff, putting stuff back together, you go from the inside. Inside. Nothing crazy. I'm worried about this. I think this one should leak well also, but whatever. We'll figure it out together. This here. Sorry.
He should have been booked. He should have been booked.
So that's all of those. Now we're gonna tighten this down.
Black and shit, ugly. Ugly.
I ain't got my
Bro, your head got long. Like a sausage.
Right. Sounds like those kids are in love with each other. Anyway, so that's that. Everything looks good. Really happy with how that's turned out. Let's put this breather hose back on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn on the engine, put the heat all the way max so that we can get the thermostat to be open, and then we can get the coolant flowing again. Just see what we end up with, okay? That sounds really good. Alright, so that engine is like a brand new engine. Alright, that's burn off from the coolant. Belt's smooth. Let's continue to fill that up. Oh, forgot to turn the heat on. Let's turn the heat on. heat is on. Show you the timing marks. She'll turn it off. We'll do the timing. Let's check the timing. Okay, so you remember what we're looking for? Alright, good. Here we go. Best shot possible. I don't know if it's going to be easy to see at night. I mean, during the day. That's not easy. Not easy at all. Alright, so, well, you can hear the difference. I can't seem to show it to you well. It's too much ambient light, but it's Ivan like so amazing, man. This is like a brand new car. Let's check it around the front here. How you doing? So you see how that's idling that? So it's back to like maybe like say 750 RPMs per minute. Got the heat all the way on because we need to like leave that get the thermostat to be open so we can get as much air out of the system. There's no more bubbling, which is good. I want to clean the engine off, so to do that most effectively you want to like just get the engine a little bit warm, nothing hot because you don't want it to catch on fire. This stuff is inflammatory. So I have it idling for like maybe like 5 minutes, and then just gonna spray it down a little bit, and then I'll let it sit, and then I'm gonna spray it again with some other cleaning chemical and the pressure washer, a degreaser. So let's just go ahead and use this degreaser first.
Well, damn. Okay.
Oh, it's really important, right? It's underneath, so I'm gonna go underneath the car and spray underneath also. That was really the key part that we need to clean the most. good. We'll let that sit for about 10 minutes. We'll spray it again with a different degreaser. As you can see, you're going to have to do another oil change. There's no way around it because we let it idle now. We made it look good. Everything's fine. And the reason why we're going to do another oil change is we're going to change the oil pan gasket. Alright, so we got to get that 14 off. That 12 here. There's another one right over there. Okay. Let's have at it. See how successful we end up being. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. So we'll do the 14s first. I tried this by hand, it wasn't working. So. Okay. How about this one? Alright. How about we do the 12s? So what we got? Let's try the 12s up here. Alright, that worked. That worked. And so did that one. So we have those two 12s. Like that. Okay, so the not getting much luck with those 14s there. So those two 14s are aggressively in place. So I think I'll use a breaker bar on them. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Alright, let's see how this goes. That's good. Okay. That's a good sound. Sound of a mangasm. So we get this one here. You gonna work? Let's see. Yep. Definitely turned. Alright, so I think that we can possibly, yeah, we should be able to turn these off now with the impact. So that's out of the way. These two 14mm bolts. Now that gives us access to the 10mm bolt that's back here. Right there. Pretty hard to get to without pulling it off. You can't get it. Alright, so we're gonna have to get something like this to like get this all out so it's really articulated. 1/4" universal joint, universal socket on the 10. Alright, so let's have at it. I'll show you what we're gonna do here. Wheel pad nation. I don't even know what you can see here. Alright, so we're just chipping away at the wheel pad. So, not exactly the most exciting thing in the world. Move some of these manually. I'm just gonna loosen them up, and then I'll see what we can do with the power tool. You know, but I start over here. You can see that better. Yeah. Okay, so these are all pretty easy to turn. To get off. So anyway, so you see what they look like. I'll give you this. Alright, there you go. That way you can enjoy the show. So I'm just breaking these just to start off with, and then I'll come back with my air tool, air socket, and try to get these off. I did clean the car engine with a pressure washer, a power washer. So I did that just to like help me have a better time underneath here, getting these things off. Looks like I don't really need that articulated. No, this just works right here by itself. It's the 1/4". Yeah. Yeah, 1/4" without that universal joint works. So you don't really need it. At least not so far. So you do have to get your oil, change your oil, let your oil drain out before you do this. Okay. Alright, so I was wrong. Yeah, you don't need any, this was enough without any universal joint to get to those nuts. So now we're going to use a little assistance. These are 1/4" here. The extension kind of helps out. I had a lift. I wish I had a lift. that stud came out. Interesting. Is that supposed to happen that way? So bolts that came out here. Full on bolts. Okay. I see. So some of them are nuts and some of them are bolts. I didn't know that was going to happen that way. Yeah, like that. Some of them are nuts, some of them bolts. Oh boy. My neck hurts. Fatigue. Let's get some from the back over here. Enjoying the view? This is a lot of work. I'm tired. I'm getting tired. Somebody said get a lift? Yeah. That's what I heard too. Alright, so we have only two left. Only one left. All right. So I think that's it. I don't think we have any more. It's a combination of bolts and nuts. I think that's it. Alright, I just want to double check. Make sure I'm not crazy. Oh, we got one more back there. Okay. And we have another one back here. Alright, so we actually do have a really hard one to pull way back there. Alright. Okay, so I'm coming. Camera battery's flashing, so you might miss out on any action. We can do it before you can't see. We're running out of battery. This one's easy. It's that one over there by itself. That one's going to be fashionably difficult. That one. All right, let's see what we can. So we can pull out of our butts here. Wow. Come on. Be able to actually pull. Is that it? Yep, that's it. Okay. So, yeah, it's coming off. What do you think? A little mallet? I had a mallet. I can't find it anymore. All right. About to lose out on you, buddy. So I'm thinking, right, we can probably tap it with Woody. There you go. Go Woody. Always showing up when I need you, Woody. Yeah, so we absolutely have to get this 12 right here off. Can you see that? Yeah. So we gotta get this shield off. And then we over here on this side, we have a 10. So. Hopefully I didn't damage the oil pan. I pulling on that thing. I didn't pull on it too hard, but I felt like I pulled on it hard enough. You know. Anyway. Okay. Back to this side over here. backwards. So it's interesting they put a 10 and a 12 versus just two 12s. You're gonna get a memo from me. Expect one, Honda. That moment when your neck is killing you. That should just come right down, right? What do you think? Yeah? No? Yeah. Okay. It wants to come down. Sorta, kinda. There we go. I'm scared. Try not to damage anything. Alright. Jesus, that was one heck of a fight. Yeah. So I definitely didn't damage anything. I just need to loosen this thing up here. Get that out of the way. Okay, looks like it's transmission. Just kind of transmission guard, I guess. Alright, whatever. Alright, we did it. Probably should replace. Is that an oil pump? Is that what that is? You can see how hot the oil got. Look at this. Jesus, man. Alright, cool, whatever. We're done. We got a lot of stuff to clean. Alright, so we had to clean all this surface here. And to do that, I'm just going to spray some WD-40 like that on it. Use my Scotch Brite like this. And get the surface like super clean. Alright, so I'll be doing that for a while. So you can go ahead and take a break and do something else. So we're going to clean this. To do this, we're going to spray it first with some WD-40, wipe it off, and then we're going to use brake parts cleaner to finish it off. So you can, so you can start. See what I'm doing. All right. that's that. And do the same thing for all of those.